From movies and cartoons that boost their PG ratings to games with unintentional horrors. Interested? Come with me. Hey guys, we're from the channel Is This Serious? And here are the 20 things that scared us as kids. 20. Opening of Goosebumps. This one was based on the fantasy horror book series by R.L Stine. And while the show itself has many scary moments, like the living puppet, it was the opening that really set the mood for the series. Spooky music, the woman on the billboard and the dog and his glowing eyes. 19. The Skeksis. These are vulture-like creatures from the movie The Dark Crystal. What's really awful about them is the way they drag themselves, big husks with skeletal hands, trial by stone, and the infamous noise one of them makes. 18. The Springfield Archives. This is one of the first episodes of The Simpsons, a parody of the X-Files still running at the time. Homer encounters a glowing green ghost in the woods with a loud voice that says, "Don't be afraid." So naturally, kids everywhere shit their collective pants. Easily the scariest Simpsons episode by far, though nowhere near as scary if you're an adult. 17. King Ramses. This is from an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, a ridiculously awful show for any kid. And this scene shouldn't be as scary as it is, but it's just the way Ramses delivers his line and how animated he is. When a stone slab is removed from his tomb, he appears to say, "Return the slab or suffer my curse," in a slow, haunting voice. 16. The Living Dead. This is from The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time game, although you can still find them in other games in the series. They walk slowly like zombies, their faces covered by a wooden mask with a suction hole like a Dementor's. What's really scary? When a Re-Dead is defeated, the other Re-Deads in the area approach it, crouch beside it, and watch silently, but no one knows why. 15. Pennywise the Clown. This one is from the IT miniseries, based on the novel by Stephen King. Pennywise is actually an interdimensional predatory life form that takes on the appearance of your worst fears, in this case, a clown. Even though the movie can be cheesy at times, Pennywise is by far the scariest thing kids can be unlucky enough to watch on late-night TV. 14. Ring wardrobe scene. This is an expert cut of a tense and emotional conversation between two women about a girl who watched the movie The Ring. This is easily the most memorable scene, when she says, "I saw her face," and we have an instant cut to the girl in the closet, her mouth open, blackened, pretty messed up. 13. The Bunyip. This is from an old Australian animated/live-action film about a 5-year-old lost in the bush. One scene is a song about a creature known as a bunyip, and if you don't come home quickly, it will get you. What was scary? That mix of animation and live action, the bunyip charging towards you in a whirlwind of colors and the snarling "R-U-H-H." 12. The Alien of Communion. One scene, perfectly delivered, Christopher Walken sitting in his chair in his room with creaks and noises outside. He asks quietly, "Is anyone there?" Then a close-up of a door of him, an alien head peeking out for a few seconds before disappearing again. Absolutely horrible, just like Paranormal Activity, makes you never want to sleep in his bed again. 11. Cell melts a man. Dragon Ball Z, much of it was censored because of how perverted, graphic, or inappropriate it could have been at the time. But they missed one scene, where Cell stabs a businessman and drains all the fluid from his body. It visibly melts into the screen and disappears, leaving behind nothing but clothes. They technically censored a full body shot of the man's face melting for the TV release, but the idea was still awful. 10. Talipo. This is an old story that has been adapted into books, animations, and the like. It's about a dog-sized creature that lurks at the foot of your bed, demanding your talipa. The original story is that a hunter shot his tail while hunting in the woods, and that he wanders through houses demanding that you return his tail, just before killing him. 9. The Opening of Resident Evil. From the original PlayStation game, a '96 survival horror, one of the first atmospheric zombie titles popular at the time. Even though the voice acting was corny, the strangeness of the mansion remained, and it was a cut scene that haunted us as children. You turn a corner and see one of your first zombies, crouched on the ground eating a corpse, and slowly look at you. Lame today, but scary in the past. 8. Fire in the Sky. A complete PTSD-inducing, must-see 93 film about alien abductions against a group of 7 or more workers in White Mountains, Arizona. The entire movie is terrifying, but one scene in particular I'm so glad I never saw it as a kid. The aliens surround this guy who is trapped, covered in a sheet, with his mouth and eyes open during the experiment. It's intense, and that doesn't even begin to describe its 7, Indiana Jones meltdown scene. One of the final scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when the Nazis finally get their hands on the fabled Ark of the Covenant only for ghosts to fly in and kill them. But it was horrible, faces burning and melting, collapsing in on themselves, even exploding. For such a chill adventure movie, it would have been an absolutely horrible scene for kids to go through. 6. Subscribes to TV Alien. The one scene everyone remembers from Shyamalan's Signs in 2002. At this point, you still haven't gotten a good look at the mysterious aliens, and it's only when seen on the news, in a home video that you finally do. But it's the build-up to the reveal, the kids have seen it, the songs leading up to it, you're trying to squint to see it, so it only appears for a moment. It scared the shit out of me as a kid. 5. Marionettes from the Labyrinth. Tons of scary scenes in the style of Dark Crystal, but one little scene in particular gives a lot of people the creeps, and it's about the goblin. When you first see them, they're hiding all over the room out of sight, and when you finally see them, they fill the screen with glowing red eyes. It didn't help that, in a later scene, some red creatures broke their heads and started throwing them, very disturbing stuff. 4. Mario's Water Monster. This one comes from Super Mario 64, the first major 3D platformer for the N64. In one of the water levels, there's a seemingly indestructible beast swimming around a giant underwater chasm, and touching it takes away a huge chunk of your health. But it was the face that scared people, the giant googly eyes, the wide snake-like mouth and the silence, so out of place for a Mario game. 3. Mars Attacks. Lots of kids saw this movie, but few realized that even though the aliens were super scary and how much violence there was, Mars Attacks was meant to be a comedy. But most of the terror came from how they descended from their spaceship, brains in jars, only to start shooting everyone relentlessly, and one woman even put her head on a dog. Weird and crazy film, amazing to watch as an adult. 2. Haunted Mask. One more mention for Goosebumps. Every kid remembers this episode. It's the one where the disembodied masks start to get stuck in your head if you wear them long enough, and their personality traits start to imprint yours. Eventually, the masks become so desperate to be used that they start floating around the neighborhood in one of the scariest scenes ever portrayed on a children's show. 1. You Are Not Perfect. One of the most bizarre, blood-curdling scenes encouraged the cowardly dog, one that I couldn't put in anything but number 1. Appears for just a few seconds in the episode, Perfect, Courage's nightmare about a bizarre, whispering blue fetus-like creature with a human face that says nothing except, "You're not perfect," with super creepy music playing. No explanation, totally fucked up. I can't believe they let the kids see this. We are producing videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on the channel. If you liked it, don't forget to leave your like and activate the notification bell to stay on top of all the news. I'm waiting for you in the next video.